One of the most interesting features about the new V2 Zunes is the wireless synchronization. So the Zune, of course, has always had Wi-Fi, but one of the problems was that it didn't really do a whole lot in V1. In V2, you can actually synchronize your Zune with your desktop computer over your wireless network and actually pull down music. So I'm going to actually go, well, I'm already in the settings. I'm in wireless sync. I'm going to click on Setup Wireless Sync, and you'll see that the Zune, and I'm assuming this is the Zune firing up in the background and using its own Wi-Fi connection, because this PC I'm on, of course, doesn't have Wi-Fi connection. It has my, this is my network. You can click on Use Selected, and then it says this network is protected. To access it, you'll need to enter the correct network key. And I've punched in my network key, and I'm going to click OK. And then the Zune software is saying it is trying to connect to Dojo Secure. This might take a few moments. So basically it's firing up the Zune in the background there. And now you can actually see the Zune 80, which is my Zune 80, has been connected to Dojo Secure, which is my wireless network. And that's it. So that was incredibly fast and simple. Of course, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a look at the wireless sync on the Zune itself. Before I do that, of course, I have to set up some sort of a playlist or a synchronization routine. So be back in just 1 second. So now I'm in the Zune software. I'm in the playlist view. I have a playlist called Driving Music, and what I'm going to do is actually just drag and drop it down to the Zune. You see when I move over, it turns into a bright pink plus sign. I let go, and now the Zune is going to synchronize. If you look closely, you can actually see a little kind of a flare going across the screen of the Zune, which I assume means it's synchronizing. That is really cool. Now it says it's synchronizing, although, yeah, so it says it's 100% in sync. It says that it just added 10 items. So now that playlist is set up to synchronize with my Zune. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to disconnect my Zune 80 from the computer. And then what I'm going to do off camera is add in some extra content to this playlist and then try a wireless sync and see what happens. Alright, so here's my Zune 80. Off camera I've added in some new music to a playlist. So what I want to do, of course, is I want to manually trigger a synchronization. And I think I actually have to go into, I don't know if it's social or which setting it is. It's not... Okay, I suspect it's into settings, and then there's going to be, yeah, wireless, and then there's an option there that says sync now. So I'm going to click on sync now, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's looking for the network. Hopefully it'll find it relatively quickly. Okay, it says it's connecting to the network, connecting to PC. Now I just heard the USB connection chime over on my Vista computer. So what that means is that the Zune software is doing a sort of virtualized USB connection. So now it says it's preparing to sync and it's synchronizing. So I added one album worth of songs, which should come down relatively quickly, but we'll see. Most of my albums are a little bit over 100 megs in size because I use fairly high bitrate MP3 files. So it's syncing. It would definitely be cool to have some sort of a progress indicator here because, of course, as a user, you're sitting here staring at the word syncing and you're wondering, is it, hung up? Is it still working? How long will it take? It's a little bit confusing, but yeah, I guess we'll just wait a couple seconds. I'm hoping it's not going to take very long. If I had excellent eyesight, I could see across my room and see how long the synchronization process was taking on the desktop PC. But since it still hasn't quite finished, I'm just going to hit pause here on the camera, and I will turn it back on when the sync process is complete. Okay, so I actually just moved the camera over to my computer, and you can see this is my Zune 80 that is synchronizing, and it's about 43% done, and that took maybe, I don't know, 60 seconds, 80 seconds, something like that. So if you look at my Zune here, it's actually still syncing. Again, there's no progress indicator on the Zune, but there is a progress indicator on the Zune software. I think it should kind of be the reverse. I think having a progress indicator on the Zune itself would actually probably be much more important. But it is good to see that, at least on the desktop software, you can see how long the process is going to take. I was synchronizing a Beatles album, which I think had like 23 tracks on it. So this is a much bigger album than normal. If you synchronize, just 1 or 2 albums, it would probably go a little bit quicker. But the Zune is definitely, it's not going super fast. This is an 802.11g network, and if I were to go in and see how big the actual music is, I suspect that the album would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple hundred megabytes. Of course, I need to find it first, which is always a little bit tricky. I'll use the good old-fashioned Vista search, and I will find the Beatles, the One album. And it looks like this whole album is 101 megabytes. Yeah, so 101 megabytes is the total file size, and the Zune is now 83% finished. So I have an 802.11g wireless network, and I'm pretty sure that the Zune has .11g, although I'll have to maybe double check on that specification, because it seems to definitely be going at less than G speeds. It may be scaling down just to save on the actual battery life. But we will take a look at this just as it's finishing up. Okay, so the Zune desktop software is now at 100%, and the Zune itself says sync complete. So that's basically it. So I click OK, and then if I go into my music, I should be able to find the album. There it is. There's the Beatles One album with all the music that I just synced. And of course I can immediately go in and start listening to it. So that's the Zune wireless sync when it's manually triggered. There's an automatic trigger that happens when your Zune is connected to AC power. It will wake up and do an automatic sync. We'll continue exploring the new features of the Zune. Be sure to check out Zune Thoughts at www.zunethoughts.com. Thanks for watching.